Hi everyone, my name is Nondobego and today I'll be talking about cognition, learning, and motivation. Cognition is the process by which humans process data and acquire knowledge. It is also defined by NISA as the process by which sensory input is transformed, reduced, elaborated, stored, and recovered. It is basically a collection of mental processes and activities used in perceiving, learning, remembering, thinking, and understanding, and the act of using those processes. The cognitive process involves processing information that you receive. Once you process it, you begin to judge it using familiar knowledge. You also use logical reasoning, which further helps you to learn. Once you learn, you also get to evaluate the information, and then you access your memory in order to remember the information. When you reflect, for instance, on the information, it helps you to remember that information you've learned. An example of cognition is that in drama class, I learn and remember the types of theater stage plays by reading and reflecting on the book of theatrical genres. Learning is the second concept, and it is the process of gaining knowledge through practicing, studying, and being taught. Learning can be basic or complex. It becomes basic when we're recalling names or dates, whereas it becomes complex when learning involves understanding the key points, for instance, in a story, solving a problem in calculus, or comparing and contrasting a poem or an essay. Learning benefits my learning style by allowing me to improve my personal skills and find new ways to comprehend information. There are 4 stages of learning. The first stage is unconscious incompetence. The person is unaware of the skill and their lack of proficiency. For instance, you want to learn how to cook pasta. This leads you to stage 2, whereby you look for a recipe and you start reading the recipe. Therefore, the person becomes aware of the skill but not yet proficient in cooking the pasta, which leads us to stage 3, conscious competence. You begin to read and also practice cooking the pasta. The person is now able to use the skill, but only with effort. You need to refer each and every time you're cooking the pasta, which further leads us to stage 4, which is unconscious competence. Through practice, you become confident in cooking pasta. You performing the skill becomes natural. This is the stage we all should strive for when we are learning. An example of learning is that every time in class, I learn a lot of new ideas and things from my instructor and classmates that I can remember for a long time. Motivation is the third concept. It is the process that triggers, drives, and maintains goal-oriented behavior. According to the incentive theory, people are motivated by the need for rewards and reinforcement. Motivation is important to my learning style because it helps me come up with new strategies to achieve my goals. It can be beneficial to everyone because it can increase one's confidence and also promote productivity. Motivation can be influenced by a number of factors. For instance, sociocultural factors, internal factors, classroom environment factors. For instance, if a person internally is a positive person, they would be motivated to do better in their class, even if it's hard. Even if the subject is hard, they will be motivated to work hard. If the person also comes from a family that is well educated, the person is more likely to be motivated to learn so that they become also educated as their family members. An example of motivation is that personally, I am driven to succeed in my studies. This need motivates me to prepare and work hard in order to achieve my goals. So, how are these three concepts related? Cognitive learning skills must be exercised for learning to occur, and commitment is required for an individual to think about practicing these skills. For example, a student to succeed in what they are learning, motivation and cognition must all be present. Motivation will drive and encourage learning, while cognition will contrast the learning process. There are several factors that can affect these three concepts, such as sociocultural factors. For instance, the attitude, beliefs, expectations students hold based on their sociocultural backgrounds influences their motivation, learning, and behavior. Cultural groups may emphasize different norms, values, and expectations. A person who comes, for instance, from a minority group who sees a college that is accepting to their cultural norms and values might be motivated to attend in that college. Furthermore, family experiences and expectations also influences us. If our family is well educated, it is more likely that you yourself will be interested to learning or going to college. In terms of cognition, the ideas and knowledge we develop in a cultural setting can influence how memory is constructed. People will remember information based on what they are familiar with related to their background, cultural background. Biological factors also influence these three concepts. For instance, learning is a process that occurs in the brain when new knowledge is presented to us. Biological factors are the factors that we are born with and often at times cannot be prevented or stopped. Biology therefore influences a person's development and how they comprehend concepts. Furthermore, there are many disorders that can alter cognitive process. For example, mental disorders such as depression, ADHD, make it hard for students to concentrate and find motivation and participate in activities. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed learning on cognition, learning, and motivation.